The serious gang. What time is it now? Zhongli woke up and rubbed his temples with his thumbs. Staying up late to play video games were certainly bad for his kidneys and made him tired. He even had a headache now. A moment later, his sight gradually became clearer. He glanced around and mumbled in shock. HM? This isn't my room, right? The room wasn't big, but it was definitely not Zhongli's rental house. The entire room smelled of sandalwood and rays of sunlight came through the hollow carved window, making him sleepy. He looked around. Zhongli was on a soft bed with a wooden bed frame. The carvings on it were extraordinary. This was probably not a bed ordinary people could use in the ancient times. After a while, some extra memories came into Zhongli's mind, as if something was forcefully shoved inside his brain. This felt a bit overwhelming. I transmigrated, Zhongli said. He spent a long time getting familiar with the memories in his mind and started to accept the truth. He looked at his hands, which were full of calluses formed by using weapons for a long time. How did I transmigrate? Or is it just my soul that's transmigrated? In his previous life, Zhongli was only an ordinary person. After graduating from university, he found a job that was kind of professional, so his hard work paid off. Speaking of hobbies, he loved playing video games and reading novels. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't remember how he transmigrated. So he decided to just let it go. There was nothing he could do anyways. Should he try to kill himself to go back? Cut the crap. Things in his last life hadn't ended so well already. People on the internet used to say that life was like being raped. If you couldn't resist it, then try to enjoy it. It would be a fresh start from now on. If my memories are right, today should be the day I succeed as the leader of the serious gang. Zhongli got up from bed and mumbled. He chuckled and continued, Interesting. I was just a normal person in my last life, and now I'm going to be a leader. Even though the serious gang isn't very popular, they have hundreds of men. This doesn't feel right. Knock. Knock. Outside the room someone was knocking on the door. Master? Master? Someone spoke tentatively. Who is it? Zhongli asked. The girl hesitated. She had never thought that Zhongli would reply to her. She then spoke again. Master, you're awake. The elders asked you to meet them at Jui Hall. Today is the day you succeed as the leader of the gang, so you can't be late. If not, the elders will be upset. All right, I'll be there in a minute. Zhongli then remembered. The person outside must be his maid, Xiaolan. Master, may I come in? Xiaolan asked. Sure, Zhongli replied. Creak. The door was opened. Xiaolan entered the room slowly. She was beautiful, short, and was wearing a yellow pleated dress. Her eyes were full of hesitation and anxiety. Master, Xiaolan greeted Zhongli respectfully and carefully glanced at him. After that, she kept her head down as if she had done something bad. Zhongli sized the girl up and felt like something was wrong. The girl was still lowering her head, and she seemed to be afraid to look at him. Am I this scary? Fine, just leave first.
Zhongli Baba.
Since he was in an unfamiliar world, he was a bit alert. After noticing something strange about Xiaolan, he didn't want to play with her anymore. Ooh, okay, master. Xiaolan quickly left the room and even forgot to close the door. She must be really nervous to make such a mistake. What's wrong with her? Zhongli shut the door himself. Something's wrong. Zhongli sat down and started thinking with his right hand on his chin. He wasn't a fool. Thinking carefully, the reason why he came to this world was because the Zhongli here was dead. That was why he transmigrated. So, here were the problems. How did Zhongli die? Who killed him? Who was his enemy? Where did his enemy come from? How could he protect himself? All kinds of questions came to Zhongli's mind. He felt a chill down his spine and shuddered. I'm already in danger.
Zhongli Shugja.
I thought I'm here to be a leader that has command over a large number of men and they do anything I ask them to, but I'm actually in a situation like this. Even my maid, Xiaolan, may have been bribed, which means I don't even have one person around me that I can trust right now. This is so bad. What should I do now? Zhongli tried his best to think of a solution. Who would it be? Zhongli thought. Which elder would it be? Or do all of them have the same thought? Is that why they're setting me up? After all, It's a matter of strength. My father, Zhang Huahong, was a martial artist who had an internal force of the early stage of level 1, which is why he could establish the serious gang. What a shame. I don't know how he died. If he was still alive, I'd be able to live happily as the master of the gang and wouldn't have to deal with these things. The three elders of the gang are all a step away from forming their internal force and becoming real martial artists of early stage level 1. And I'm only at the early stage of the elementary level and have learnt just a few tricks. I'm so weak. No wonder they want to take my place. Zhongli might have said that, but he couldn't just let it go. Besides, even if he gave up the position, they might not let him go. They would probably kill him to avoid any trouble in the future. If I don't do something, I'll be dead either way, Zhongli said. I can't just sit here. Zhongli tried to search for hints in his memories. If I remember it correctly, my father left me something. Following his memories, Zhongli crawled under the bed, then lifted a piece of floorboard on the ground. There appeared a wooden box in a secret compartment. Found it. Zhongli was thrilled. He immediately took the wooden box out and put it on the table. My life depends on what's inside of this box. Zhongli took a deep breath. He was nervous and was a bit short of breath. After all, this was about his life. Crack. The black wooden box opened slowly. This is? Zhongli lowered his head and saw two things inside the wooden box, a book and a ginseng. The ginseng looked almost like the shape of a human. Ginseng? Martial arts secret book? Zhongli suddenly had a headache again. So, what do I do with these two things? Should I eat the ginseng and practice martial arts? This must be a joke. My enemies are already here. How would I have time to practice? When I finished learning all the tricks, I would have been dead for a long time. After pondering for a while, Zhongli still took out the martial arts book. Perhaps he was a smart, talented martial arts genius. People had to have dreams. The internal energy art. A high-grade internal force art of level 1. Zhongli opened the martial arts book. Since he had some new memories, he could recognize the words in this world. So he wouldn't be illiterate and unable to even read the book. After a while, Zhongli finished reading the book and had some basic understanding of the training system in this world, but only things recorded in this internal force art. Before entering the levels, martial artists must activate their bones and blood. Level 1 martial artists will start forming internal force with their blood, then open up the meridians to allow the internal force to move around the body. Zhongli said, the internal energy art only recorded the arts for opening up the 12 main meridians. I'll need an art of a higher grade after that. So, Zhongli tried for a bit, according to the internal energy art, but nothing happened. If it wasn't for the memories, he wouldn't even be able to do the poses. His dream of being a martial arts genius had failed before he even started. Then, let's eat the ginseng, Zhongli said. As long as there were enough resources, even a pig could become a martial. Detected items that can be converted to energy points. Loading the game, the legendary mech army. Targeting the main candidate. Binding the soul. Binding the genes. Binding completed. Confirmed to have the highest authority. Zhongli was shocked and his left hand with the ginseng froze in the air. The sound in his mind appeared very suddenly. The combat mech, Wang Gang. Opening Dominator panel. Swish. Something appeared within Zhongli's sight, but it was transparent and didn't affect what he saw. Dominator panel.
Dominator, Zhongli.
Game. The legendary mech army. Window. Types of army. Types of regular meshes, expandable. Types of navy meshes, non-expandable. Types of air meshes, non-expandable. Types of space meshes, non-expandable. Types of special meshes, non-expandable. Energy points, 0. Soul Tinder, 0. This is a game. Zhongli finally remembered. A game. That was right. This was a game. Zhongli spent the whole night playing a game called the Legendary Mech Army before transmigrating. He even reached the next level. After he woke up, he came to a different world. So, the game, the Legendary Mech Army, also followed him here. If this is real, Zhongli took a deep breath and calmed himself down. Then, I'll be able to solve the problem with the game. Not only that,
Zhongli pausa.
to be honest, the types of meshes Zhongli unlocked at later stages of the game were powerful, and he was a bit excited about it. Show me the types of regular meshes on a sub-window. Zhongli controlled the Dominator panel. Sub-window. Types of regular meshes. Level 1 mechs. Combat mech, unlocked. Cold weapon mech, locked. Firearm mech, locked. Intel mech, locked. Biochemical mech, locked. Right now, among the 5 armies, only regular meshes could be seen, while the remaining 4 were still locked. Besides, only one type of the regular meshes were unlocked. Master, are you in there? Someone was at the door. Since Xiao Lan reported to the elders about Zhang Li, they sent Officer Su Long here. He knocked and asked. Hearing the rough voice, a brawny man immediately came to Zhang Li's mind. It's Officer Su Long. Why is he here so fast? Convert it to energy points, Zhang Li said. Successfully converted the wild ginseng. 10 energy points received. Zhang Li looked at the panel and saw that 10 energy points had been added. Create a level 1 combat mech. Zhang Li issued an order. Above the mech type window, a virtual screen popped up along with an illusory human figure. Countless light dots were filling the figure, making it more and more realistic. It needed about a minute. Master, it's time. You should come with me to Jui Hall. The elders and the other officers have been waiting for you. If you remain silent, I'll come in directly, Su Long said more firmly. Officer Su Long, I'm changing in here. After all, I'm going to be the leader of the serious gang, and it's a big deal for everyone. I must wear something appropriate, or the serious gang will lose face. Am I right? Zhang Li made an excuse to buy himself more time. Haha, okay. Be quick, Su Long laughed and said with a mocking tone. He thought, this kid really thinks he can be the leader of the gang. Fine, I'll let you wear whatever you want, so you can die looking better. I'm only respecting our former leader. A minute later, combat mech completed. Buzz. The figure on the screen turned into something real, and it became like a normal person. This was like a fantasy. In front of Zhang Li, there was a man as tall as he was. He looked around 20 years old and was expressionless. He was wearing a camouflage hat and outfit, and there was a badge with an inverted obtuse image on his shoulder. He was in a standard military uniform, but wasn't carrying any weapons. Master, I'm GD-01, a combat mech at early stage level 1. He walked to Zhang Li and saluted. Zhang Li was a bit startled. When he played video games, the meshes created were only a bunch of data, so they certainly weren't as astonishing as the one that appeared in front of him was. However, this felt pretty good. Of course, the mech before him wasn't a real person, but a mechanical creation. It just looked exactly like a human. GD-01 doesn't sound good, Zhang Li said. From now on, you'll be called Wang Gang. Yes, master. The combat mech, Wang Gang, nodded. What's your current level? Zhang Li asked. Master, I can fight with 10 martial artists of peak stage elementary level at the same time, and I can beat those of early stage level 1. When I exert myself, I can kill 2 of them and myself, Wang Gang replied. Even though meshes were mechanical creations, they had intelligence programs in them. They might not be really smart, but they could still have simple conversations and could understand orders. Of course, the higher level the mech type was, the more advanced their program was, and the more intelligent they were. Let me see. Zhang Li opened Wang Gang's information window.
Mesh type, combat mesh.
Level. Early stage of level 1.
Norge, GD01, Wang Gang.
Skills. Level 1 elementary combat art. Characteristics. A mechanical creation that isn't afraid of dying, can't feel pain, and is extremely loyal. It stops functioning only if its heart is broken or 90% of its body is destroyed. After it dies, it can be recycled for half of the energy points of the cost. Condition to reach the next level, 20 energy points. Wang Gang's strength was out of Zhang Li's expectation. It could deal with martial artists at the early stage of level 1. In fact, Zhang Huahong was only at the early stage of level 1, but he managed to establish the serious gang and rule the entire Honghua Street. The 3 elders were only at peak stage elementary level. So with Wang Gang, Zhang Li's safety in this new world could basically be secured. Wang Gang, you need to stay close to me and protect me from now on, Zhang Li said. Don't worry, master. Your safety is our top priority. We'll do everything we can to protect you even if it costs our lives, Wang Gang yelled. All right, all right. Zhongli felt even better now. Boom! Su Long pushed open the door. Master, what are you doing? Why are you taking so long to get changed? Also, why did I hear someone else in the room? Su Long came in and asked Zhongli. Jui Hall. Officer Su Long, Zhongli said with an unfriendly and upset tone. That guy just broke in directly. Luckily, the combat mech had completed. Wang Gang stood in front of Zhongli and stared at Su Long fiercely. Who are you? Su Long ignored Zhongli, as he had never cared about him. And yet, he was shocked by Wang Gang. He stopped there and sized Wang Gang up, but he couldn't feel any energy of a martial artist on him. So, he thought that Wang Gang was an ordinary person. Wang Gang was a mech. He wasn't a real person, so he would certainly not have the energy of a martial artist. Wang Gang is my new bodyguard. Is there a problem? Zhongli said coldly. A bodyguard? Su Long knew Zhongli only wanted comfort, but Wang Gang seemed to be a guy who dared to work hard. He was thinking of training Wang Gang into a good fighter when he had the chance. No problem, for sure. Didn't you say that you were changing? Why are you still wearing this? Oh, I don't want to change anymore.
Zhongli Shugja.
This looks fine. It's simple and elegant. You, Su Long frowned and felt like Zhongli was messing with him. Officer Su Long, the elders must be a bit impatient now. Let's not waste any more time. We should go to Jui Hall as fast as possible. I can't wait to become the leader of the gang. Zhongli smiled and said. All right, all right. Su Long also smiled. If you want to die so quickly, I won't stop you. They left the house together. After a while, at Jui Hall, and Su Long arrived. At the entrance, there were two members of the serious gang. Officer Su Long, Master Zhang Li. They bowed. Officer Su Long nodded arrogantly. Nice, nice. Zhang Li gave a beaming smile and said as he patted their shoulders, It's so hot today. Thank you for guarding the door under the sun. This is our job. The two of them were flattered. Work hard. When I become the leader and develop the serious gang, I'll improve the welfare of our members. By then, you'll be able to eat whatever you want, Zhang Li said. Thank you, Master, the two members said with gratitude. Haha. Su Long snickered. It was easy for Zhang Li to say something like that, but in this world, nothing was more important than strength. Then Zhang Li and Su Long entered Jui Hall and shut the door. Master seems really nice. If he really becomes our leader, our life will be better. What are you thinking? Master is too weak. The elders won't agree with this. He may not even be able to survive. Everything would be better if Chief was still alive. The two members of the gang then stopped talking. In Jui Hall, Zhang Li looked around and saw Xiao Lan kneeling on the floor. There was a main seat in front, right in the middle, which was the leader's seat. Three people were sitting a bit lower than that seat. Chief Elder, Li Hualong, was sitting in the middle, while Elder Dong Yang and Elder Yang Zongdong were sitting on the left and right respectively. There were also 5 officers of the gang on both sides. This is only a gang with 100 members, and 9 of them are elders and officers, which occupy almost 1/10 of the total number. Zhang Li thought. Elders, Master Zhang Li is here. Su Long bowed. Thank you, Officer Su Long. Take a seat. Li Hualong raised his right hand. Thank you, Chief Elder. Su Long nodded respectfully and sat on his own seat. Master Zhang Li, Brother Zhang Huaheng died in an accident, and you're his biological son. According to the rules of the gang, you're supposed to succeed as the leader. Li Hualong said slowly, Are you willing to do so? Around the hall, everyone looked at Zhang Li with disdain, and they seemed to be watching a movie. Xiao Lan knelt on her knees with her head down. She was trembling, and she dared not to look at anyone. Haha. Zhang Li looked around him and laughed in his mind. He thought that his father was too unreliable. None of the members in the entire gang were loyal. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in a situation like this. Once Zhang Huaheng died, none of the senior members of the gang were willing to help him. They even tried to set him up. This showed that these people had no emotions and loyalty at all. All they cared about was their interest. Thinking of this, Zhang Li felt relieved instead. If these people still cared about the past, it would be hard for him to kill them. Right now, he didn't have to worry about it. The serious gang was established by my father, Zhang Huahong, and he was also in charge of the entire Honghua Street. As the son of the former leader, I must take over his place and help the serious gang improve. Zhang Li looked at everyone else and said firmly, Haha, great. You're indeed Brother Huahong's son. I'm touched by your ambition.
Dong yang lauget sarcastically.
Haha.
Yang Zhang Dong smirket.
The 6 officers remained silent. Chief, please take a seat. Li Hualong got up and pointed at the chair on the top. Jiang Li nodded and walked towards the seat without any hesitation, while Wang Gang followed him closely. In the Jui Hall, everyone looked at Jiang Li. In the end, Jiang Li walked to the leader's seat and smiled. He then turned around, glanced over everyone and sat down. This kid really dares to sit there. Don't worry. Let him be happy for a while. He'll get what he deserves. The officers all looked unfriendly. Chief Elder, I'm now officially the leader of the serious gang. You should give me the chief's tablet. Zhang Li looked at Li Hualong. Li Hualong smiled and glanced at Officer Su Long. Of course, you can have the chief's tablet. Give it to me. Zhang Li reached out. Wait. Officer Su Long immediately got up and yelled, Elders, officers, don't you think that Master Zhang Li isn't quite suitable to be our leader? He's only at the early stage of the elementary level and knows just a few tricks. Such a person will only lead the serious gang into a decline. Officer Su Long is right. Strength is the most important thing. Zhang Li is too weak. He's simply not enough to be our leader. I agree. Elders, we object to letting Zhang Li be the leader of the gang. The 5 officers got up with exactly the same opinion, as if they had discussed it beforehand. This was too obvious. Their real intention was exposed, and they finally began. Aha! Zhang Li yawned and didn't care at all, as if he was watching a move. He seemed to be saying, please enjoy your show. I'll not disturb you. If the show is great, I might even clap and give you a flower. According to the rules set by us and Brother Huahong, Zhang Li is totally qualified to be the next leader. Yang Zhangdong couldn't hide his smile anymore, as if his evil plan had succeeded. Our rules also stated that officers and elders can object to the new leader. Chief Elder, what do you think?
Dong yang looked at Li Hualong.
Let's vote. Li Hualong said, please raise your hand if you object to letting Zhang Li be our leader. After that, me too. Me either. And me. The 6 officers all raised their hands one after another. Yang Zhangdong heaved a sigh and also raised his hand firmly. You must listen to the people. Dong Yang also raised his hand. Li Hualong looked at Zhang Li and found that Zhang Li wasn't angry as expected. He was calm. Really calm. This gave Li Hualong a chill down his spine. He felt something wrong. Why is he so calm? Li Hualong thought. Zhang Li, since the 6 officers and the 3 elders objected, you'll not be our leader from now on. Su Long yelled, I think Chief Elder is more suitable to be the leader. Get down here. Get down from that seat. You don't deserve it. Get out of there. How can a loser be our leader? Do you really think you can do anything you want just because of your background? The officers shouted. They weren't talking peacefully anymore. Are you done with your show? It's lame. Zhang Li stretched his body and got up from his seat. He started to look cold and vicious. Since you've done performing, it's now my turn. Shut up, Zhang Li. Why are you pretending to be strong? You're only a loser at the early stage elementary level. If you don't want to get down, I'll have to help you. Su Long grunted with viciousness in his eyes. He jumped up from his seat and rushed to Zhang Li. His right hand was pointing right at Zhang Li's heart. Go to hell. In a blink, Su Long was already right before Zhang Li. Wang Gang, attack. Zhang Li said immediately. Yes, master. Boom. Wang Gang punched and blocked Su Long's attack. His strong energy instantly broke Su Long's arm. Arg. Su Long let out a cry and flew backwards at a high speed as he spurted out blood. He clashed against Xiao Lan, knocking her down as well.
Bang!
The door of Jui Hall was knocked open. A punch, and Su Long flew a dozen meters away. Everyone went silent. Only Su Long's wails were left. Kill them. Zhang Li raised his eyebrows. Wang Gang was indeed powerful. Su Long couldn't even withstand one attack. Wonderful, wonderful. Zhang Li was completely content. Su Long. Li Hualong got up and shouted, "Who's this man? Where did he come from?" He broke Su Long's arm and defeated him with just a punch. Su Long is already at the peak stage of the elementary level. Yang Zongdong, Dong Yang, and the other officers all looked at Wang Gang in fear. At the entrance, the two members of the gang who guarded Jui Hall were also dumbfounded. They stared at Su Long on the floor in shock. What happened? Why was Officer Su Long like that? That's horrible. The maid also died. The two members saw Xiao Lan, who had stopped breathing. This girl was killed just because of the clash. It was cruel. Master, should I kill all these people? Wang Gang asked Zhang Li respectfully. Kill us all? Dong Yang was surprised for a bit before he burst into laughter. Zhang Li, I don't know where you got this guy from, and he's so powerful that he injured Su Long with a punch, but how can he deal with all of us alone? That's insane. Besides, we've already reached the peak stage of the elementary level. Zhang Li, you're not the leader of the gang anymore. As the second elder, I now banish you out of the serious gang. Yang Zongdong then said, if you don't want to die, get out of here right now. We'll spare you life for the sake of our former leader. You really have no shame. This is totally a miracle. Zhang Li also smiled and yelled, the serious gang belongs to me. How dare you banish me from it? From now on, there will be no more elders and officers in the serious gang. Don't even think about it. Zhang Li, you're not the leader. You don't have the right to issue such an order. Will not comply, Yang Zongdong and the others shouted. Then, I can't help you. Zhang Li waved his hand. Wang Gang, do it. Yes, master. Swish. Wang Gang jumped up. His speed was way faster than the elementary level martial artists. He sped to Yang Zongdong and gave a punch. How dare you? Yang Zongdong grunted and gathered the blood energy in his body, forming a red hand that flew towards Wang Gang. Bloody palm. Boom! Wang Gang gave a punch and Yang Zongdong's bloody palm shattered. Yang Zongdong felt like his hand hit a steel plate, and it was a punch with powerful energy. That's impossible. Yang Zongdong's eyes popped out, and he couldn't believe it at all. Blood sprayed everywhere. While Yang Zongdong was still startled, Wang Gang gave a punch and Yang Zongdong's head was smashed like a watermelon. Soon a headless corpse lay on the floor. Elder Yang is dead. He's dead. Oh God. He's too fast and powerful. Is he a level 1 martial artist? But why can't we sense the energy of his blood and his internal force? Was he really born this powerful? He's a monster. How did Zhang Li get this guy to work for him? The officers were terrified. Outside the hall, the two members of the gang had already widened their eyes. They watched Wang Gang kill people, while Zhang Li sat on the leader's seat calmly like someone who had complete control of everything. Master is incredible. He has such an impressive man, who could kill Elder Young in a few attacks. Officer Su Long's arm is fractured as well. He's unstoppable. Yes. Yes. The eyes of the two members were glittering. Zhang Li, I'll kill you. Swish. Dong Yang was terrified right now, especially after he watched Yang Zongdong die without a chance to fight back. He immediately turned around and rushed at Zhang Li. He knew that Zhang Li was only at the early stage of the elementary level. As long as he captured Zhang Li, he would be able to get out of danger. How dare you try to hurt Master?
Bang!
Wang Gang shouted and stomped his foot, creating a small pit on the floor. He sped up and instantly stood in front of Zhang Li to block Dong Yang.
Kumbaa! Bang! Bang! Bang!
Wang Gang gave a dozen punches in a short amount of time, and they all hit Dong Yang. Blood splashed and Dong Yang's chest was punched through. You? Dong Yang widened his eyes. He had stopped breathing, and his mutilated body fell on the floor. Go to hell.
Bang!
Chief Elder, Li Hualong, seized the chance to attack. He posed like a crane, and his hands were like snakes with a layer of white aura around them. Internal force. That was his internal force. Wicked snake hand. Boom. Li Hualong's attack was fast and powerful. It also carried his internal force and could penetrate steel. It hit Wang Gang's chest, and he was knocked backwards, destroying the chairs and tables. Internal force. Chief Elder used his internal force just then. Martial artist of early stage level 1. Chief Elder has become a martial artist of early stage level 1. Brilliant. It's over. Zhang Li's going to die. The officers cheered excitedly. Congratulations for becoming a level 1 martial artist, Chief Elder. Su Long was a bit better. He wanted to escape, but seeing Li Hualong show the power of early stage level 1, he came back immediately to be a toady.
Jiang Li.
Li Hualong's face turned pale. After all, he had only entered the level and his internal force wasn't strong enough. The last attack had used up most of his internal force. I've never expected this to happen. However, you killed 2 elders in front of everyone. That's too vicious. Even Brother Zhang Huahong wouldn't let you stay if he was alive. So, I must do something myself. Let me give you a decent death. You should just stab yourself. Then, you won't humiliate Brother Zhang Huahong. Li Hualong, you're such a cunning old man. Zhang Li sneered and said, you have the power of early stage level 1, but you didn't help at first. You just watched Yang Zongdong and Dong Yang die. That way you can criticize people's morals as if you're an upright person, while the rest of us are all treacherous. That's ridiculous. Li Hualong shouted, I have no idea what you're talking about. And, Zhang Li continued, do you really think I don't know about it? You tried to set me up and murder me. I guess you've also bribed Xiaolon. Since you failed to kill me, you wanted to humiliate me by taking away my place. You're clever, but I've already seen through everything long ago. Well, the officers opened their mouths wide. Since it was the truth, they didn't know what to say. Outside the hall, the 2 members of the gang heard everything clearly. They had never thought the senior members would try to murder the son of their former leader. If they can do such things to the son of our leader, they can also do the same to normal members like us without us knowing. Should we quit the gang? The 2 members of the gang mumbled. Shut up, Jiang Li. Li Hualong was anxious. He couldn't let this secret leak. If all the members knew about it, they wouldn't trust the gang anymore. By then, the gang would be doomed. Go to hell.
Li Hualong rusha towards Jiang Li.
He had to kill Jiang Li and deal with the 2 members at the entrance to keep the secret safe.
Bang!
Wang Gang jumped and sped up. His body was like a bullet, flashing towards Li Hualong from behind. Chief Elder, be careful. Su Long yelled. You're alive? Li Hualong said as he turned around and saw Wang Gang. Wicked snake hand. Li Hualong used his internal force again. His hand was surrounded by a white aura and was in the shape of a snake, speeding towards Wang Gang.
Combat art.
Wang Gang swayed his fists to distract Li Hualong and moved around to avoid the attack. Li Hualong's hand went past Wang Gang's cheek very closely.
Bang! Bang! Bang!
In a short period of time, Wang Gang gave a dozen punches. Each one of them hit Li Hualong's chest, breaking through Li Hualong's defense. A powerful energy then broke Li Hualong's organs to pieces. Li Hualong spurted out blood with pieces of his organs inside. He fell down as he stared at Jiang Li with his mouth open. After Li Hualong died, Jiang Li saw a gray light fly out of the dead body like a firefly. It then went into Jiang Li's head through the middle of his eyebrows. Swish. Received a level 1 soul tinder. Jiang Li received a notice. Soul tinder. Jiang Li's eyes twinkled and he murmured happily, according to the setting of the game, killing something with a higher level has a certain chance of getting a soul tinder, which is a key item for unlocking mech types and army types. Swish. Sub-window. Types of regular meshes. Level 1 mechs. Combat mech, unlocked. Cold weapon mech, can be unlocked. Firearm mech, locked. Intel mech, locked. Biochemical mech, locked. Cold weapon mech. Jiang Li immediately opened a sub-window to check the types of regular meshes. The option, can be unlocked, appeared for the cold weapon mech. Great. Jiang Li was thrilled. Meanwhile, the remaining 6 officers, including Su Long, were completely frightened. They looked at one another, then knelt before Jiang Li. Chief, please don't kill us. Li Hualong forced us to do this. Yes, Chief. We swear we're loyal to you. The 6 officers yelled. Swish. Jiang Li first closed the windows and stared at the 5 officers who were kneeling on the floor. You swear? Jiang Li shook his head and said with a mocking tone, "You must have misunderstood this word. So, just go to hell. Wang Gang, kill them all." "Yes, master." Wang Gang started to execute Jiang Li's order coldly. "Arg! Jiang Li, you bastard. See you in hell. You won't live long if you kill us. You're ruining the entire Sirius gang. Fight with him. Don't come closer. Don't come closer. Help." Ft, ft, ft. A few minutes later in Jui Hall, there were 6 more dead bodies. The floor was dyed red by the blood, and there was a strong smell of blood in the air. "Master, I've completed the mission. All 6 of them have been killed." Wang Gang came up to Jiang Li with blood all over his clothes and reported to Jiang Li. "Well done." Jiang Li was satisfied, but he wasn't used to the dead bodies and the smell of blood.
Mech type, combat mech.
Level. Early stage of level 1.
Norge. GD01, Wang Gang.
Skills. Low-grade combat arts of level 1. Characteristics. A mechanical creation that isn't afraid of dying, can't feel pain, and is extremely loyal. It stops functioning only if its heart is broken or 90% of its body is destroyed. After it dies, it can be recycled for half of the energy points of the cost. Damage. 10%. Repair with 1 energy point. Condition to reach the next level. 20 energy points. "Are you hurt?" Jiang Li asked. 10% of damage doesn't affect my performance, Wang Gang replied. "I've underestimated the level 1 martial artists. Even though Li Hualong is only at the early stage and has just formed his internal force, Wang Gang is already 10% damaged after blocking an attack." Jiang Li murmured, "I don't have extra energy points now, so I can't repair you at the moment. I'm glad to know it's not affecting you." "Hey, you two," Jiang Li yelled. Master." The 2 members who guarded the entrance ran over and knelt on their knees in awe. They saw what happened in Jui Hall. From now on, the entire Sirius gang would be under Jiang Li's command. There was no doubt about it. "What's your name?" Jiang Li asked. "I'm Wang Chao, master," the taller guy on the left answered. "My name's Mahan," the guy on the right with tan skin replied. "Wang Chao and Mahan." Jiang Li touched his nose. "Let me ask you a question. Do you have 2 brothers called Zhang Long and Zhang Hu?" Wang Chao and Mahan looked at each other with confusion, then shook their heads. "No, master." "All right."
Jiang Li Shugja.
"Wang Chao, Mahan, from now on, you'll work for me." Jiang Li waved and yelled, "I promise I'll take you to eat something good. Go get a few people here to clean up Jui Hall. Also, pass down my order. The Sirius gang will abolish the positions of elders and officers for now, and everything will be decided by me. Understand?" "Yes, master," Wang Chao said right away. "There's one more thing," Mahan said nervously. "What's wrong?" Jiang Li asked. "Chief, even though this guy is powerful and even killed Li Hualong," Mahan pointed at Wang Gang and said respectfully, "all 3 elders and 6 officers of the Sirius gang are dead. We don't have any combat power anymore. If the news spread, the gangs next to Honghua Street will definitely take the opportunity to attack us. By then, our gang will be in danger." "You must be talking about the Scorpion Gang, Axe Gang, and Red Flame Gang." Jiang Li waved his hand and said calmly, "They are just 3 weak gangs. We don't have to be scared of them. If they dare to do anything, I'll make them pay. We can even take over their territories." "But," Mahan smiled wryly. "Right, what do we have to be afraid of? We'll just kill them all." "Mahan, don't worry about it."
Wang Chao pata Mahan's shoulders.
Mahan rolled his eyes. "Brother, are you dumb? If there's only one other gang, we certainly don't have to worry. And yet, if the 3 gangs work together, there will be 3 martial artists of early stage level 1 and tons of fighters of peak stage elementary level. We'll be dead no matter what. Let's go." Jiang Li got up and left Jui Hall. Wang Gang walked closely behind him to secure his safety. Jiang Li walked past Xiaolan's body. He glanced at it, then shook his head and didn't say a word. He had never thought Xiaolan would die just like that. What he could say was, ordinary people were extremely different from martial artists. After that, Jiang Li went to the rooms of the 3 elders and the 6 officers and started searching. All of their property was in Jiang Li's hands now. 9 10-year Ganodermas, 10 10-year fleece flower roots, 5 10-year wild ginseng, 300 taels of silver, 10 blood energy pills, and 3 martial arts secret books. Zhongli returned to his room and put everything he got on the table with a smile. Haha, I've got quite a lot of things. They're all mine now.
Anticipate cold weapon meshes. Detected items that can be converted to energy points. Would you like to convert? Sure. Jianli confirmed. What do I keep them for? Money? I don't lack money. I lack energy points. Buzz. White light flashed. The Ganodermas, ginsengs, and fleece flower roots were gone and 24 energy points were added on the panel. The 10-year herbs can only be converted to a few energy points. Jianli mumbled, I can make 2 meshes of early stage level 1 with 24 energy points, or I can upgrade Wine Gang to the mid stage. There's still 2 little energy points. Build 2 level 1 cold weapon meshes, Jianli said. He knew that he was only at the early stage of the elementary level, so he must protect himself. Having only 1 mech was far from enough. Besides, Jianli knew his strength was his biggest weakness. He could only make meshes in the legendary myarmy, but not things like gene enhancement drugs. Of course, when he reached the peak stage and unlocked the research meshes, he might be able to develop technological products like gene enhancement drugs, but it was impossible for now. Luckily, Jianli was in a super fantastic world where he could practice martial arts and become a martial artist. If he kept enhancing his strength, he could totally get rid of this weakness. He had to create meshes, look for resources, enhance his martial arts level, continuously improve himself, and finally form a flawless mech army. This was Jianli's goal. Swish! A virtual screen popped up. There was an illusory human figure surrounded by countless light dots, which were filling the figure to make it more realistic. There was also an X2 symbol next to the figures. 2 minutes later. Buzz! Buzz! The human figures enlarged and became realistic. Cold weapon mech of early stage level 1, LBQ-01. Cold weapon mech of early stage level 1, LBQ-02. Greetings, Master. A man and a woman appeared before Jianli. They were both wearing camouflage outfits like Wine Gang and were tall and cold. And yet they were different from Wine Gang. Cold weapon meshes carried a weapon, but it was only an alloy dagger that was put on their outer thigh. Jianli nodded. I only have a few meshes right now. For convenience, LBQ-01, you will be called Wang Yan. Yes, Master. Wang Yan saluted indifferently. She had short hair and a pretty nice body figure. Unfortunately, it was a robot. Jianli felt a bit sad. LBQ-02, you will be called Wang Long, Jianli said again. Ads by Pup Future. Yes, Master. Wang Long saluted. Mech type, cold weapon mech. Level, early stage of level 1. No, LBQ-01, Wang Yan. Skills, controlling level 1 elementary cold weapon. Characteristics, a mechanical creation that isn't afraid of dying, can't feel pain, and is extremely loyal. It stops functioning only if its heart is broken or 90% of its body is destroyed. After it dies, it can be recycled for half of the energy points of the cost. Condition to reach the next level, 20 energy points. Mech type, cold weapon mech. Level, early stage of level 1. No, LBQ-02, Wang Long. Skills, controlling level 1 elementary cold weapon. Characteristics, a mechanical creation that isn't afraid of dying, can't feel pain, and is extremely loyal. It stops functioning only if its heart is broken or 90% of its body is destroyed. After it dies, it can be recycled for half of the energy points of the cost. Condition to reach the next level, 20 energy points. Their abilities are basically the same. Jianli murmured and nodded. Cold weapon meshes. These meshes only had a dagger when they were first made. As their levels went higher, they would eventually get a stiletto, sword, or long blade. Generally speaking, level 1 cold weapon meshes had already mastered the use of 4 cold weapons and had extremely strong battling power. Of course, there were exceptions. For example, when making 100 cold weapon meshes, there might be some special elite meshes that had weapons like spears or crescent-painted halberds. These elite meshes were much stronger, but there was only a slight chance of getting them. "You'll go on a mission with me tonight," Jianli said. "Yes, Master," Wang Gang replied. Jianli didn't want to be beaten, so he decided to attack first and eliminate the Scorpion Gang, Axe Gang, and Red Flame Gang. With the forces he had right now, he could totally deal with the gangs one at a time. Blood energy pills. Jianli picked up the porcelain bottle, opened the lid, and poured out the crimson pills. Blood energy pills. They were elementary-grade pills that were suitable for elementary-level martial artists to refine their blood and body. However, even such a low-level pill was worth 100 taels of silver, which was 100,000 yuan on Earth. Li Hualong and the others basically took all the assets of the Serious Gang as their own. They even cleared the warehouse of the gang. Jianli said, "Let's see what the blood energy pills can do." Jianli took out a blood energy pill and ate it. Gulp! The blood energy pill slipped into his throat and entered his stomach. After that, it melted and a strong vital energy spread. Boom! Boom! Jianli felt like his organs were vibrating. "Master," Wang Gang yelled anxiously. "I'm fine." "Guard the door." "Don't let anyone in," Jianli yelled. "Yes, Master." Wang Gang and the others nodded. Internal energy art. Jianli immediately posed and refined the vital energy inside the blood energy pill with the internal energy art. Time passed. An hour later, the vital energy and medicine inside the blood energy pill were basically refined by Jianli's internal energy art. Plumes of white smoke billowed out of his body and his face blushed. The effect is great. It's indeed a blood energy pill that's worth 100 taels of silver. I'm already so close to entering the mid-stage of the elementary level after taking one. Jianli felt the changes of his body and was thrilled. Again. Jianli took out the second blood energy pill and threw it into his mouth. He squatted down and refined the pill with the internal energy art. An hour later. Bang! Jianli's body shook. His energy became stronger and he had successfully entered the mid-stage of the elementary level. The second blood energy pill was completely refined as well. "I've reached the next stage." Jianli smiled. "Although I don't really have potential in martial arts, it's okay. As long as I have resources and medicines, I can still reach higher levels easily. There are 8 blood energy pills left. I wonder if I can reach the peak stage of the elementary level after taking all of them." At midnight, Jianli had taken 5 blood energy pills and his energy started to become unstable, so he couldn't continue anymore. He needed time to stabilize his blood. He still couldn't reach the peak stage after taking 3 other blood energy pills, which was such a shame. "Let's go." Creak. The door was opened. Jianli walked out, while Wang Gang, Wang Yan, and Wang Long stayed close behind him. They left the Serious Gang and went to Honghua Street. No one was on the street and it was extremely quiet. And the sky clouds covered the moon and darkened the entire street. "Let's deal with the Scorpion Gang first," Jianli said. "Sneak in." Along the way, Jianli tried to remember some information about the Scorpion Gang. The leader of the Scorpion Gang, Lu Yanbing, was also known as Scorpion. Rumor had it that he was good at using poisons and had scorpions as his pets. Many martial artists of early stage level 1 died in his hands. This was the information Jianli had in his mind. Clomp! Clomp! Jianli came to Scorpion Street with the 3 meshes. It was quiet and nobody was there. He went ahead following the route in his memory. Half an hour later, Jianli and the meshes arrived at the Scorpion Gang. 2 members of the gang were guarding the entrance, but they looked exhausted. "Wang Long, deal with them," Jianli said. "Yes." Wang Long nodded. He hid in the dark and quietly crept closer. He took out his alloy dagger, then slashed the neck of the two members of the Scorpion gang. A beam of light flashed. Psst, psst. Blood splashed everywhere. The two members of the Scorpion gang died silently. Wang Long dragged the two dead bodies away and hid them in a dark corner. Let's go, Jianli said. They climbed over the wall and entered the backyard, hiding behind a big tree. They looked around, but nobody was there. Whether it was the Sirius gang or the Scorpion gang, all gangs had control of a street and had their own businesses, including brothels, pubs, and gambling stalls. Generally speaking, members of the gang had to take care of these businesses, so there wouldn't be many of them at the headquarters, though there might still be around 30. Wang Yan, go catch that guy. Jianli said, remember to be careful. Lay low. Yes, master. Wang Yan nodded and left immediately. She disappeared from Jianli's sight and sneaked into the room. It was a piece of cake for Wang Yan to catch a person as long as she was careful. A few minutes later, Wang Yan came back with a fainted member of the Scorpion gang. Master, mission completed. Wang Yan threw the guy on the ground. Good, Jianli said. Well done. It's our responsibility to help you, Wang Yan said. Jianli shrugged, then knelt down and poked the guy's face. The guy woke up after a while. You. The member was about to shout, but Jianli covered his mouth. Answer my question if you want to live, Jianli said. If you shout, you die. The member of the gang nodded quickly in fear. Where's Lu Yanbing? Jianli asked and released his hand. He's in the assembly hall. He invited the leader of the Axe Gang and Red Flame Gang to come over. They seem to be discussing something important, the member of the gang said. I've told you everything I know. I'm only a normal member. Please don't kill me. Boom. Jianli hit the guy's neck and he fainted again. I can finish the 3 leaders at once. Jianli got up and said, we're going to the assembly hall of the Scorpion gang. Master, one question. Do you know where the assembly hall is? Wang Gang asked. Wang Yan and Wang Long looked at Jianli together. Jianli paused for a while, then looked at the fainted guy and said, wake him up again. After a while, Jianli got the information he wanted. Brother, you can ask me anything you want. You can beat me a couple times more, but I don't want to waste your time, the member of the gang said. It hurts. My neck is going to break. He hit me so hard. Boom. Jianli hit the guy again. The guy rolled his eyes and was knocked out right away. You're just a slave. Why do you talk so much? Jianli said. At midnight. In the assembly hall of the Scorpion gang, Lu Yanbing was sitting on the main seat. Scorpion, why did you ask us both to come this late? I bet it wouldn't just be for a drink. The leader of the Axe gang, Lu Doc, sipped the wine as he put his arm around a sexy woman. His left hand had already slipped into her dress, which made her blush. Her fair, long legs were twisting around uncomfortably. Cut the crap and get back to business. The leader of the Red Flame gang, Hua Yingji, frowned and glared at Lu Doc. Lu Yanbing said, after Jiang Huahong died in Stone Village, there was no one to lead the Sirius gang. And yet, Li Hualong suddenly became a martial artist of early stage level 1, so we've never had the opportunity to take their territories away. However, the world is unpredictable. Li Hualong died today. Not only him, 2 other elders and the 6 officers of the Sirius gang are also dead. Lu Doc's eyes popped out. How do you know that? I have an informant in the Sirius gang. Lu Yanbing smiled. What happened exactly? Hua Yingji asked. Jiang Huahong's son, Jiangli, found a powerful fighter and killed Li Hualong and the others, Lu Yanbing said. He's too young and reckless after all. He didn't think about the consequences. Killing Li Hualong and the others may be able to quell his anger, but this also destroyed the foundation of the Serious Gang. How can he support the Serious Gang alone? Guys, what do you think? Our gangs can work together to take down the Serious Gang tomorrow. By then, we'll have equal shares of all the businesses on Honghua Street and of the Serious Gang. Are you interested? Haha, sure. Why not? Lu Doc burst into laughter. It's like a cake delivered to my door. I've always wanted the businesses on Honghua Street, but I've never had a chance to get them. Jianli gave us such a great opportunity. He's truly our hero. I must cut off his limbs to express my gratitude. But, Hua Yanji pondered. What are you worrying about? Lu Yanbing asked. I'm a little worried about Jian Li's fighter. He killed Li Hualong and the others. We can't underestimate him, Hua Yanji said. Don't worry, Lu Yanbing said confidently. We're all working together. Even if Jian Li's fighter is a martial artist of mid-stage level 1, I'm certain that we can win. The Serious Gang will be destroyed and Honghua Street is destined to be ours. Jian Li is also going to die for sure. Really? I don't think so. Suddenly. Bang! A thunderous voice came. The door of the assembly hall was knocked open. The shattered wood fragments flew around the place, embedding into the walls. The punch was extremely powerful. Who is it? Lu Doc looked over. How dare you break into the assembly hall? Lu Yanbing got up and yelled. It's Jianli. Hua Yanji recognized the man at the door. It's really him. Why is he here right now? Chiefs, I heard you talk about killing me and eliminating my gang, Jianli said with a smile. You're making it hard for me. Ha ha ha, Lu Doc laughed with disdain. I was just thinking who that was. You sure have guts coming here. You've come at the right time. We can just kill you here, so we don't have to waste any more time. Get out of here. Lu Doc threw the sexy woman in his arms on the floor and pulled out the sword on his back. A hint of viciousness then spread. The sexy woman crawled to the corner. All dead. Leader of the Axe Gang, Lu Doc. Jianli sized him up and his energy gave Jianli great pressure. However, Jianli didn't have to fight. Of course, he was no match for Lu Doc. He knew this clearly, but with the meshes, the situation was under control. Come. Lu Yanbing shouted with a loud voice, which sounded even clearer at night. It's Chief. He's in the assembly hall. Come on. Something's happening. Quick. Clomp, clomp, clomp. Outside the assembly hall, the members of the Scorpion Gang were stirred and there came some intensive footsteps. They were all rushing to the assembly hall with their weapons. Attack, Jianli immediately yelled. Go to hell. Swish. Wang Long attacked first. He sped forward like a cheetah with the alloy dagger on his right hand. He created a ray of light with the dagger and was aiming at Lu Doc's throat. Wonderful, Lu Doc yelled and slashed. Their weapons clashed against each other in the air, creating some sparks. They were equally powerful. Wang Long then kicked Lu Doc's chest. Lu Doc backed away to avoid Wang Long's attack and slashed with his sword at the same time. Swish! Wang Long dodged and stabbed the side of Lu Doc's waist with the alloy dagger. His attack was extremely fast. Lu Doc's clothes were torn and there was a wound on his body. He's fast. Lu Doc glanced at Jianli seriously. Why did this kid find such a powerful man? He's only at the mid-stage of the elementary level and he made a level 1 martial artist work for him. Chief Lu, let me help you. Lu Yanbing immediately rushed ahead. He waved his right hand and a dozen shadows flew out of his sleeve. They all sped towards Wang Long. Poof! 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 Wang Yin jumped up and swayed her alloy dagger. She created rays of light in the air, slashing the shadows apart. Sizzle! These shadows were all poisonous scorpions. When their dead bodies dropped, the ground was immediately corroded by the venom, which showed how strong their venom was. Toxic palm. Lu Yanbing attacked while his hands were surrounded by internal force and black glitter. There were some strong poisons in his hands. Whoosh! Wang Yin stabbed with her dagger using her full power. A beam of light flashed and sped towards Lu Yanbing's hands. Psst. Blood splashed everywhere. Arg! Lu Yanbing let out a cry. His hands were stabbed by Wang Yan's dagger even though he had the ice silk gloves on. At the same time, Wang Yan was also repelled by Lu Yanbing's power and the poisons were stuck on her hand. Her arm was corroded, letting out plumes of smoke and some sizzling sounds. Ha ha ha, Lu Yanbing laughed. You'll die after being hit by my toxic palm, unless you have my cure. My toxic palm isn't that easy to deal with. Jiangli, you're going to die. I'll definitely make you suffer. Chief Hua, attack, Lu Yanbing yelled. All right. Hua Yanji nodded. She had already heard of Lu Yanbing's toxic palm, which carried strong poisons. Whoever got hit would certainly die. Hua Yanji took out the whip on her waist. It was covered with spikes and was entirely red. When it moved, it looked like a dancing fire snake. Combat art. Swish! 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 Wang Gang dodged to avoid Hua Yanji's attack and reduced their distance at the same time. He then flashed towards Hua Yanji. Red flame whip. Hua Yanji's eyes popped. Wang Gang's power was beyond her expectation. At such a dangerous moment, she mobilized the internal force in her body into the whip in her hand. The whip then became like a giant python and it flashed forward. Bang, bang, bang. Wang Gang gave a dozen punches in a short amount of time and his powerful energy was passed to Hua Yanji through the red flame whip. Poof! Hua Yanji spurted out blood and backed away with fear in her eyes. He's strong. Go to hell! Lu Yanbing shouted. He viciously rushed at Jiangli at the fastest speed as he saw nobody was around him, then he gave a punch. Swish! Wang Yin put her alloy dagger in front of herself and blocked Lu Yanbing's attack easily. She then turned around and kicked Lu Yanbing away. Lu Yanbing fell on the floor and said in shock, "How did you do that?" Haha, Jiangli chuckled. He would never tell them that Wang Yin was a mech. The trump card Lu Yanbing was most proud of was quite useless in front of Wang Yin, but the corrosiveness of the poison still raised Wang Yan's damage to 10%. Wang Gang, Wang Yin, Wang Long finished them as soon as possible. Jiangli heard that the sound of footsteps got closer. The members of the Scorpion Gang were on their way. Let us deal with them first. When my men are here, Jiangli will die, Lu Yanbing said firmly. All right. Hua Yanji nodded. After a long time of fighting, there were a few wounds on Lu Doc's body. He then used his martial arts tactic, Tiger Downhill. Lu Doc shouted and gathered his internal force. He sped forward like a tiger and slashed at Wang Long from above. Go to hell! Crack! Wang Long didn't fall back. He turned to his side and blocked Lu Doc's attack with his left arm, which was then cut off. Psst. Wang Long stabbed Lu Doc in his chest with the alloy dagger and penetrated his heart. Blood seeped out of the wound, dyeing Lu Doc's clothes red. Lu Doc's jaw dropped. He had never thought Wang Long would be so fierce. When he looked at Wang Long's broken arm, he saw some electric sparks on it. He isn't human. Lu Doc was trying to say something, but his heart was pierced and crushed. The spark in his eyes became dim and his body collapsed slowly. Chief Lu! Lu Yanbing and Hua Yanji yelled in fear. After killing Lu Doc, Wang Long immediately worked with Wang Yin to besiege Lu Yanbing. Lu Yanbing's poisons might be great for dealing with other martial artists, but it was useless when facing Wang Long and Wang Yin. Poof! In the end, after a few attacks, Wang Yin stabbed Lu Yanbing in his head with her dagger. Please! Please don't kill me! Hua Yinji, who was the only one that survived, immediately knelt and begged. Bang! One gang gave a punch without hesitation and crushed Hua Yinji's heart. Buzz! A gray light flew out of Hua Yinji's body like a firefly and into Jiangli. Got a level 1 soul tinder. A notice popped up. I only got 1 soul tinder after killing 3 martial artists of early stage level 1. The probability really isn't high, Jiangli mumbled. Meanwhile, outside the assembly hall. Go in there to help. 20 members at the headquarters led by the chief elder of the Scorpion Gang besieged the assembly hall. And yet, when they entered the hall, they saw the dead bodies of Lu Yanbing, Lu Doc, and Hua Yinji. They instantly turned pale. Dead. All dead. The 3 leaders were all dead. Harvest time. Jianli glanced over the people of the Scorpion Gang and saw someone familiar. The chief elder of the Scorpion Gang, Wu Zong. He was around 40 years old, had a square face, short hair, and a scar on his left cheek. At this moment, his legs were shaking and his eyes were full of fear and shock. The thing was, the 3 leaders were all real martial artists that had already formed their internal force. Lu Yanbing had even killed many martial artists once. And now they were all murdered. How horrible! Everyone there was frightened. Their courage was gone. They weren't as fierce as they were when they came to the assembly hall anymore, and their legs were even like jelly. How could they continue to fight? They would be sending themselves to die if they rushed ahead. Clang! Clang! The 20 members behind Wu Zong threw their weapons on the floor one after another. Ha ha! Jianli sized up Wu Zong with a smile. He dropped a hint to Wang Long to ask him to cover his broken arm and wound so that nobody would find out anything weird. Wu Zong said with a smile, Master. Master Jiang, no, Chief Jiang, you. Wu Zong, cut the crap. Jianli interrupted Wu Zong and said, Lu Yanbing has died, so from now on, the Scorpion Gang in Scorpion Street will be under the Serious Gang and will be called Scorpion Hall. Wu Zong, since you're the chief elder here, you'll be the hall master temporarily. Well. Thank you. Wu Zong wasn't scared anymore and was even a bit excited. He knelt before Jianli and yelled, I'll take good care of Scorpion Hall for you, Chief Jiang. I won't let you down and I'll do anything for you. Lu Yanbing died and Wu Zong became the hall master. This was a good thing for Wu Zong. As for loyalty, it wasn't worth much. Jianli nodded. Although the mechs were powerful, they didn't know how to manage the gangs and take care of the businesses. It would be a waste if he killed Wu Zong. Keeping them alive to take care of the gang and businesses could make himself more money for buying medicines and pills so that he could convert them into energy points to make more mechs and gradually enhance himself. As long as he had a powerful mech army, he wouldn't be afraid of Wu Zong and the others. Of course, there were things he must be careful of. Otherwise, he could be in danger. Here's my official greetings to you as the Hall Master of Scorpion Hall. Wu Zong knelt on his knees and said, Greetings, Chief. Then the people behind Wu Zong all knelt at the same time. Ha ha. Jianli cracked a smile. Take me to the vault of the gang first. Wu Zong, you're the chief elder of the Scorpion Gang. You should know where Lu Yanbing stores his treasures, right? Yes, Chief, Wu Zong replied. Lead the way. Jianli waved his hand. Yes. Wu Zong got up. It was harvest time. However, before leaving the assembly hall, Jianli turned around and saw the sexy woman in the corner. She saw everything that happened just then. Which meant she saw Wang Long's strange wound after Lu Doc cut off his arm. The thing was, if people knew that Wang Long wasn't a real person, Jianli might be in trouble. In fact, Jianli knew that he couldn't keep this secret for long. As the number of his mechs increased and his enemies grew stronger, it would be exposed after all. However, before it did, he had to hide the secret for as long as he could and make more meshes to build a stronger army as fast as possible. Then, even if the secret was exposed, he wouldn't have to worry about anything. I can only kill her, Jianli thought. Please. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. The sexy woman realized that her life was at risk. She immediately crawled to Jianli with the upper part of her dress falling off slightly, exposing her fair skin. Her long legs were extremely sexy as well. I knew it was you, Yin Jiao. You deserve to die. Suddenly, a ray of light flashed. Wu Zong stabbed the sexy woman in her chest with a shiny sword. He then pulled the sword out and blood spouted. The sexy woman fell on the floor and died with her mouth opened. Please forgive me, Chief. Wu Zong immediately knelt and said furiously, this woman used to be Lu Doc's mistress. She took care of Ichuan brothel on Axe Street. Before I joined the Scorpion Gang, my only daughter was kidnapped and sold to that brothel by this woman, and she had no choice but to kill herself in the end. I've been trying to take revenge for my daughter, but I didn't succeed. That's why I couldn't help myself. Jianli looked at the body of the sexy woman and shook his head. He didn't say anything when he saw Wu Zong's expression. I'll spare you, since you did this for your daughter, but not next time. Thank you, Chief. Wu Zong was thrilled. Sure, Jianli said. Since you made a mistake, you must be punished. I'll take all the money and medicines you've gotten over the years. Huh? Wu Zong looked up in shock. Do you have a problem with that? Jianli asked with an unfriendly look. No, definitely not. Wu Zong shook his head quickly. Lu Yanbing's place was at the center of the Scorpion Gang's compound. With Wu Zong there to lead the way, Jianli soon arrived at the secret chamber where Lu Yanbing stored his treasures. Creak! The door of the chamber, which was a bookshelf, opened automatically after they pressed the hidden button. Chief, this is it, Wu Zong said. I found it accidentally. Let's go in. Jianli walked into the secret chamber. Master, let us go in first, Wang Gang said. Sure. Jianli nodded. Then Wang Gang walked in the front and entered the secret chamber. Swish! Swish! Once he got inside, he triggered the traps in the chamber and dozens of small arrows were shot out of the walls on both sides. Clang, clang. Those arrows pierced through Wang Gang's camouflage outfit and caused about 5% of damage. There are really traps inside, Jianli mumbled. I didn't know. Wu Zong turned pale. He was worried that Jianli would think he did this on purpose and then kill him. Wang Long and Wang Yin glanced at Wu Zong coldly. Wu Zong felt a chill down his spine and he started trembling. It was terrifying. After a while, in the secret chamber, tons of scorpions and vipers crawled out from the corners and rushed towards Wang Gang quickly. And although Wang Gang killed plenty of scorpions and vipers, there were still a lot on his body. Wang Long, Wang Yin, go and help him, Jianli said. Yes, master. Wang Long and Wang Yin entered the secret chamber with their alloy daggers and immediately killed the scorpions and vipers. A few minutes later, all the scorpions and vipers in the secret chamber were finally killed. Wang Gang's clothes were corroded by the venom and they reached 40% of damage. Wang Long broke one arm and he was even 60% damaged. Master, we've already dealt with all the traps in here, Wang Gang said. Good. Jianli was relieved and entered the secret chamber, stepping on the dead bodies of the scorpions and vipers. There was a disgusting smell in the air. Inside the chamber, there were 2 black wooden boxes. Wu Zong, open it, Jianli said. Upgrade the mech. Huh? Just me? Wu Zong pointed at himself with his jaw dropped. He was terrified and couldn't take a step. Chief, you. Well. Lu Yanbing was good at poisoning, so he set up a few traps in the secret chamber. Nobody knew if there would be any traps or poisons in the wooden boxes. If there were, they would be activated when the boxes were opened. Hurry, Jianli said coldly. Yes, Chief, Wu Zong said. He knew Jianli did this on purpose, and this was the only chance for him to clear Jianli's suspicions. If he didn't do as told, he would definitely be killed. So, he could only cross his fingers and pray that there were no traps and secret weapons in the boxes. Phew, Wu Zong walked to the boxes, then took a deep breath and knelt down. His body was so tight and he was ready to back away when something happened. Chief, can you do me a favor? What's wrong? Jianli asked. If something happens to me, can you bury me in a spot that faces the ocean and has beautiful scenery? It would also be nice if you can burn me a paper man, Wu Zong said. Huh, Jianli said expressionlessly, don't worry. If you die, I'll mince your body and feed it to the dogs together with the leftovers. Wu Zong was speechless. He reached out and opened the wooden box on the left. Crack! Then they saw a whole box of gold, silver, and jewelry. That's a lot. Wu Zong's eyes popped out while the glitters of the jewelry reflected on his face. If we exchange them for silver, we should get around 5,000 taels. I guess. Jianli glanced over the box and nodded expressionlessly. Open the other one. Yes, Chief. Wu Zong nodded immediately. Apparently he was lucky, because there were no traps in the boxes. He was thrilled. Crack! The second box was opened. There was a wild ginseng, a purple ganoderma the size of a hand, a white jade bottle, and a book underneath. Chief, these are 100-year-old wild ginseng and purple ganoderma. They're both medicines of inferior class level 1. Wu Zong said, they're worth at least 10,000 taels of silver. I can't believe we found them here in Lu Yanbing's secret chamber. Jianli nodded, but he didn't show how thrilled he was. He walked over and took the wild ginseng and purple ganoderma. A notice popped out. However, he didn't convert them into energy points right away and put them back into the wooden box. 5 Poison Art. Jianli picked up the book again and started reading. This is a poison art and a level 2 internal force art, but there are some missing pages. It only has information about the venom of snakes and scorpions, and the part about snakes is even incomplete. Even so, it's much more powerful than ordinary level 1 arts, and the venom it carries is also strong. Congratulations, Chief. Congratulations for getting a peerless art, Wu Zong quickly said. Jianli ignored Wu Zong. Although the 5 poison art was pretty good, this wasn't a book about internal force, which was what Jianli wanted, and there were even missing pages. After putting down the book, Jianli picked up the jade bottle in the box. When he opened it, a pleasant smell came out. There was a crystal clear pill inside. Vitality strengthening pill. Wu Zong widened his eyes and stared at the pill. He said excitedly, it's really a vitality strengthening pill. It's a medicine of superior class level 1 that helps elementary level martial artists form internal force. Gulp! Wu Zong swallowed hard. The thing was, Wu Zong was a martial artist of peak stage elementary level, and he had already accumulated enough vital energy. Once he succeeded in forming internal force, he would become a level 1 martial artist. So, he wanted the vitality strengthening pill desperately. And yet, vitality strengthening pills were too expensive and they were difficult to make. People fought over them every time they appeared. They were worth at least 100,000 taels of silver or 1,000 taels of gold. This was completely out of the budget of a small gang. Wine gang, take them all back. Jianli put the jade bottle back into the box and said, Yes, master. Wine gang nodded, then lifted the boxes and left the secret chamber with Jianli. After taking Lu Yanbing's treasures, Jianli went to the vault of the Scorpion Gang and found many 10-year medicines, blood energy pills, and 500 taels of silver. In the end, Jianli also took everything Wu Zong had and returned to the Sirius Gang. He's finally gone. Wu Zong stood at the entrance of Scorpion Hall and saw the dead members who guarded the door. Something really big happened tonight. There are still the Axe Gang and Red Flame Gang to deal with. There's so much to do tomorrow. Why do they call Jianli Master? Shouldn't they call him Chief? Is it because he has a special preference? Should I call him Master as well? That's right. I must do whatever Chief likes, so I can get closer to him and rise to the peak of my life. At the Serious Gang. In Jian Li's room. Obviously, the Scorpion Gang was a lot richer than the Serious Gang. Convert them all to energy points. Jian Li took out all the medicines and herbs he got today and put them on the table. There were quite a lot of them, and he immediately converted them to energy points. Conversion successful. Received 53 energy points. On the panel, the total number of energy points became 56. Repair Wang Gang, Wang Yan, and Wang Long. Jian Li controlled the Dominator panel. Buzz! Buzz! 3 energy points were used. Wang Gang and the others were healed and their camouflage outfits were repaired. Wang Long's arm was also connected to his body again. No matter how damaged the meshes were, they could be fully repaired with a few energy points as long as they weren't broken. Thank you, Master. Wang Gang and the others said. Jian Li nodded and opened a virtual window. Sub-window, types of regular meshes. Level 1 mechs, combat mech, unlocked, cold weapon mech, unlocked, firearm mech, 1/2, intel mech, locked, biochemical mech, locked. I've only got 1 soul tinder and it requires 2 to unlock firearm mech. I still need 1 more. What a shame. Jian Li murmured, it's fine. I'll unlock it sooner or later. When I do, I'll have meshes that can attack at a longer range. Upgrade combat mech, Wang Gang. Make another 1 combat mech and 2 more cold weapon meshes. Jian Li used 50 energy points at once. Buzz! Wang Gang was surrounded by a white aura, which disappeared after a few seconds. He was upgraded. Looking closely, Wang Gang didn't look very different. He used to fight with bare hands, but he was now wearing a pair of black gloves that were made with a special kind of alloy. It was tough, soft, and had high defensive power. Besides, he was promoted from a recruit to a private first class. One night. Information. Jian Li opened Wang Gang's information window and started reading. Mech type, combat mech. Level, mid-stage of level 1. No, GD01, Wang Gang. Skills, level 1 intermediate combat art. Equipment, level 1 intermediate special alloy gloves. Characteristics, a mechanical creation that isn't afraid of dying, can't feel pain, and is extremely loyal. It stops functioning only if its heart is broken or 90% of its body is destroyed. After it dies, it can be recycled for half of the energy points of the cost. Condition to reach the next level, 40 energy points. That's all right. Jian Li nodded. He reached the mid-stage of level 1 and has new equipment. His power increased quite a bit, as expected, but the energy points needed for the next upgrade have doubled. Soon a combat mech and 2 cold weapon meshes were completed. The virtual figures became realistic and appeared in the room. Now there were 3 more meshes in there, which made it a bit crowded. Combat mech, GD02. Cold weapon mech, LBQ03. Cold weapon mech, LBQ04. Greetings, Master. All 3 meshes were male. They immediately saluted to Jian Li. Good. Jian Li smiled and nodded, but he didn't name these 3 meshes. Speaking of which, Jian Li named Wang Gang, Wang Yan, and Wang Long at first because there weren't many meshes and it was more convenient to call them names. After all, he couldn't call their numbers in front of people, so it would be much easier for them to have a name. However, as the number of meshes increased, naming became somewhat troublesome. To avoid trouble, he wouldn't name any other meshes anymore and would just call them by their numbers. Jian Li arranged a room right next to his for the meshes. After all, the 7 of them couldn't stay in the same room. It must be 4 in the morning already. Jianli looked outside the window and felt a bit sleepy. He yawned, but didn't go to sleep. Instead, he started organizing the things he got today. The medicines he got had already been converted to energy points. After making and repairing the meshes, 3 points were left. The energy points weren't enough at all. I got 7 martial arts books. 2 of them are level 1 elementary internal force art, including the energy nurturing art and vitality nurturing art. There was also a level 1 intermediate internal force art, the vitality enhancing art. Jianli took out the books. The remaining ones are on martial arts. There are 2 level 1 elementary arts, the bull fist and dragon steps, 2 level 1 intermediate arts, the bloody palm and wicked snake hand, and lastly the 5 poison art. I should just put aside the martial arts first, Jianli murmured. After all, this is something that takes time and hard work. Besides, the level of these books are too low. They won't really be powerful even when I finish practicing them. As for the gold and silver, there are a total of 7,000 taels of silver, which can be used to buy 60 portions of medicines that are worth 100 taels. I can convert them into 60 energy points in total, which is quite a lot. Also, I'll take down the Axe Gang and Red Flame Gang tomorrow. If everything goes well, I'll be able to get more medicines, gold and silver. Finally, the pills. After several hours, the sun came out. Rays of sunlight shone on Jianli's face. He frowned and woke up. I now realize the position of the bed is really bad. It's right in front of the window, so the sunlight shone all over my face. I can't sleep well. Besides, if there's an assassin, he can just shoot an arrow into my head through the window and I'll be dead, Jianli mumbled and felt like he should move somewhere else, or at least change the position of the bed. In the past, Jianli used to have a maid, Xiaolan, who prepared toiletries and breakfast for him, but nobody served him now as she was dead. Chief. Outside the door, Mahan's voice came as he knocked gently. Come in. Jianli got up and got changed. He had to say that this world was a bit like the ancient times of China, especially the clothes. They all had long sleeves, so it was inconvenient to wear. Jianli took some time to put them on according to his memory, though he still looked a little messy. Yes, Chief. The door opened and Mahan entered the room. Behind him was a little girl who was lowering her head anxiously. Who is she? Jianli sized her up. Well, Chief, Xiaolan died accidentally. As the leader of the serious gang, how can there be no maid to take care of you? Mahan smiled and said, so, I found you an obedient and cute maid who serves people well. The girl kept her head low and remained silent. She looked really nervous. Where did you find her? Jianli asked. Don't worry, Chief. She sold herself to bury her father. I found her pitiful and smart, so I bought her. She should be all right, Mahan answered quickly. Ha ha. Jianli laughed and glanced at Mahan. So, how did you know this girl is obedient, cute, and serves people well? Mahan hesitated. Fine, leave her here. I indeed need a maid, Jianli said. Yes, Chief. Mahan was thrilled. In fact, Mahan only thought the girl looked fair and Jianli had just become the leader of the gang, so he wanted to buy her for Jianli as a gift. The main purpose was to please Jianli. What's your name? Jianli looked at the girl and asked. My lord. I'm Du Xiaohua, the girl replied anxiously. Just call me master from now on, Jianli said. Yes, master. The girl nodded immediately. Keep your head up, Jianli said. The girl looked up nervously. Her face was thin and sallow. Although she was wearing some clean clothes, her skinny body and what she had gone through couldn't be hidden. However, the shape of her face and her body figure were pretty good. If she ate more and grew well, she would look better. Mahan surely has good taste, Jianli mumbled. From now on, you'll be my maid. You'll take care of my daily life. Yes, master. Du Xiaohua nodded. I'll do my best. Practice. After eating breakfast, Jianli took out the book, Bloody Palm, and started reading. He was trying to practice the art with a bit of the knowledge he had in his memories. And yet, he didn't make much progress. It required a long time to complete the Bloody Palm, and Jianli wasn't really good at martial arts. In the courtyard. Again. Boom. Boom. Jianli took a deep breath and hit the wooden dummy with his hands. He exerted himself, making some loud noise. It was easy to practice the Bloody Palm. He just had to gather his vital energy to his hands to create power. When he could break the wooden dummy with one hit, he had already mastered the elementary level of the Bloody Palm. Practicing the Bloody Palm needed lots of vital energy, but the vital energy of elementary level martial artists would be used up very soon and they wouldn't be able to continue. Again. When Jianli turned pale, he took a blood energy pill to restore his vital energy. Jianli almost took the blood energy pills as if he was eating candies. Once his vital energy was used up, he took the pills and continued practicing. He could only push himself with his resources. Besides, practicing martial arts was different from practicing internal force. When practicing internal force, taking too many blood energy pills would lead to unstable vital energy and foundation, or even insanity. On the other hand, practicing martial arts was a continuous process of tempering and consuming. This instead helped to stabilize the vital energy and build a stronger foundation. He didn't have to worry about taking too many pills. Not far away, Du Xiaohua was standing quietly. When she saw Jianli drenched in sweat, she immediately went over and wiped his face. Chief, something's happened. The chief elder of the Scorpion Gang, Wu Zong, is on their way here with all the members of the gang. They look really fierce. They must be planning on doing something bad, Wang Chao and Ma Han came and said anxiously. Their hands that were holding the swords had turned a bit pale. Wu Zong is here. Jianli stopped and took the towel Du Xiaohua gave him. He wiped his face, then put on a clean blue gown. Chief, should we ask our members at the stores to come back? Ma Han asked. What are you worrying about? Jianli asked. Let's go. Yes, Chief. Ma Han followed Jianli, while Wang Chao looked vicious as if he was going to kill someone. At the entrance of the Serious Gang. 20 members of the Serious Gang lined up at the door and stopped Wu Zong and the others from entering. Most of them were holding a machete. Outside the door, there were over 100 members of the Scorpion Gang led by Wu Zong, which attracted a crowd of onlookers. I know that person. It's the chief elder of the Scorpion Gang, Wu Zong. The fat lady next to him is Elder Lu Feiyu. And there's Elder Guiyong. Everyone of the Scorpion Gang is here. I think the Serious Gang is doomed. I even heard that something happened inside the gang. From now on, Hanhua Street will become part of the territories of the Scorpion Gang. I hope the Scorpion Gang will show us some mercy. Around them there was a clamor of voices. Move, move. Our leader is here, Wang Chao yelled. Chief. Phew. Chief finally came. The members of the Serious Gang were relieved. They were extremely nervous to face over 100 people from the Scorpion Gang and their hands were even sweating. If they really started fighting, the Serious Gang would be at a disadvantage. People made way for Jianli. Jianli then walked to the entrance of the Serious Gang with the crowd around him. He looked at Wu Zong and glanced over the rest of the members of the Scorpion Gang. Master Jianli. He's really the new leader of the Serious Gang. Where are the elders of the Serious Gang? Although Master Jianli is Jiang Huahong's son, he's just a martial artist of early stage level 1. How can he be the leader? How can such a weak person lead the gang? I knew it. The Serious Gang is going down. People around shook their heads. Then Wu Zong took a deep breath, took a few steps forward and knelt before Jianli. He yelled, Wu Zong, the Hall Master of Scorpion Hall and our 110 members are here to meet you, Chief. Lu Feiyu of Scorpion Hall. Gui Yong of Scorpion Hall. Members of Scorpion Hall. Greetings, Chief. Plop. They all knelt on their knees. 110 people knelt at the same time as if they had rehearsed it. The sight was magnificent. They knelt. What's going on? Why? Why are they kneeling down? Shit. Seriously? Dumbfounded. At this moment everyone was dumbfounded. Some people even rubbed their eyes and thought they were seeing things. They couldn't believe what was happening was real. Nobody would have thought that all of the members of the Scorpion Gang came to the Serious Gang not to make trouble, but to yield. How dramatic was that? To be honest, everyone was confused and had no idea what was going on. The thing was that even fools could see that the Scorpion Gang was much more powerful than the Serious Gang. So, why would they kneel here? It's Chief. This must be because of Chief. Mahan guessed. Chief must have done something to make them yield. Chief subdued the Scorpion Gang without anyone knowing. All hail Chief! Wang Chao shouted. All hail Chief! All hail Chief! The rest of the members also yelled and looked at Jiangli in awe. Quiet. Jiangli raised his hand and everyone immediately shut their mouths. Wu Zong, didn't I ask you to bring everyone here in the morning? It's almost noon now. Jiangli looked at Wu Zong and said slowly. It's my fault, Chief. Please punish me. Wu Zong didn't try to explain himself. Chief, it's actually our fault. Master Wu Zong has nothing to do with it. Lu Feiyu said, Master Wu Zong came to us to tell us about what happened last night and asked us to surrender to the Serious Gang. We didn't believe him at first, so we tried to confirm what he said and even fought because of it. That's why we're late. Yes, Chief. Guiyong also said, who would have thought the 3 level 1 leaders, Lu Yanbing, Lu Doc and Hua Yinji, would be murdered by you in one night? Chief is indeed incredible. Gasp. Around them people gasped. Their jaws dropped, their eyes popped out and they were dumbfounded. The 3 leaders were dead. All dead. They were all killed by Jiangli, the leader of the Serious Gang. That was what happened. No wonder the members of the Scorpion Gang all knelt and surrendered. Jiangli was a hidden master. He killed 3 martial artists over a night. Meanwhile, everyone looked at Jiangli respectfully. He was a master, a vicious person. He killed 3 leaders in a night. Clomp, clomp, clomp. Then some footsteps came and dozens of people ran from the 2 sides of the street, besieging the members of the Scorpion Gang. How dare you make trouble at the Serious Gang? Boom! A giant hammer hit the ground and created a large pit. It was a 2-meter brawny man who had tan skin and was bald. HM? Why did they kneel? What's happening? There was a sexy lady with red lips and heavy makeup standing next to the bald man. The red dress showed how sexy her body was and her plump, long legs were flawless. City East. Jianli glanced over and the information about the 2 of them came to his mind. The bald man with a hammer was Peng Kuei, who was responsible for the restaurants and gambling stalls of the Serious Gang. The sexy lady in the dress was Suya, who was running the brothel in Honghua Street. They were neither elders nor officers. However, they were responsible for the businesses of the gang, so they had command over a large number of men and were quite superior. Besides, they were both martial artists of peak stage elementary level. Chief, what's wrong? What do these people want? Are they planning on something bad? Chief, you must be careful. Peng Kuei came up quickly. He was almost 2 meters tall and brawny. Although he was only at the peak stage of the elementary level, he was extremely strong in fighting. He was kind of a talented person. Peng Kuei, that's bullshit. The Scorpion Gang has yielded to Chief Jiangli. From now on, there won't be the Scorpion Gang anymore, but Scorpion Hall, Wu Zong said. That's right. Lu Feiyu also nodded. Chief Jiang is fierce and powerful. We all volunteered to surrender, Guiyong yelled. Pang Kuei glanced at Jiangli in shock. He then looked at Wu Zong and the others. They didn't seem to be lying. Fierce? Powerful? Are you kidding me? Jian Li's vital energy is only at the mid-stage of the elementary level. How can you see that he's strong? You're lying. Chief, can you tell me what's going on? Suyu walked to Jiangli and gave him a seductive smile. She was mature, sexy, and extraordinarily sultry. She gently put her fair hands on Jiangli's shoulders and whispered in his ear, showing off the charm of a mature woman. Pang Kuei, Suya, you're just in time. Jianli glanced at Suya expressionlessly and said, Lu Yanbing, the leader of the Scorpion Gang, Lu Dok, the leader of the Axe Gang, and Hua Yingji, the leader of the Red Flame Gang, all died in my hands. The Scorpion Gang has become the Scorpion Hall under the Scorpion Gang. Take our members and come with me to the Axe Gang and Red Flame Gang. We're going to take control of their territories as well. Chief, Suya opened her mouth wide and couldn't believe what she heard. Are you serious? Sure. Wu Zong immediately replied, the Scorpion Gang has surrendered. This is the proof. Well, Suya and Pang Kuei were dumbfounded and they stared at Jiangli with an astonished look. They had never thought such an unbelievable thing would happen. The thing was, they knew what Jiangli was capable of. He had practiced martial arts for a long time, but was still at the early stage of the elementary level. They thought that Jiangli would be killed by Li Hualong. In the end, Jiangli turned the tides. The 3 elders and 6 officers were all dead, and he even eliminated the leaders of 3 gangs in one night. It was a miracle. That's incredible, Suya exclaimed. Brother Huahong's son isn't a bastard. Pang Kuei mumbled, I was wrong about him. At that moment in an alley in Hanghua Street, a few skinny men were hiding in the shadows, watching everything that was happening at the Serious Gang. The leader of the Serious Gang, Jiangli, killed 3 leaders and is planning to take over the territories of the 3 gangs. We must report this. A second-rate gang isn't qualified to manage 4 streets. Then they left quietly. Master. One gang came to Jiangli. A few people were there watching you just then. Oh. Jiangli looked over to the place where one gang pointed at, but nobody was there. Looks like they're gone. Yes. One gang nodded. Who would it be? Jiangli wondered. In Yangon City there were many second-rate gangs. They always fought with one another because of disputes of interest. Old gangs were exterminated, while new ones were established. This was a normal thing here. In fact, other than the City Lord Mansion, there were 4 truly powerful gangs that ruled Yangon City. They managed City West, City South, City East, and City North respectively. Hanghua Street belonged to City East. There were 13 streets that formed the shape of a spider web in City East, so there were 13 second-rate gangs. One of the 4 gangs that ruled City East was the Quicksand Gang. The Quicksand Gang had 4 halls. The hall master of each of them was very strong and couldn't be underestimated. The Serious Gang and any other gangs in City East had to pay the Quicksand Gang every month. Otherwise, they would be eliminated. Besides, none of the small gangs could interfere with businesses like herbs, pills, and weapons. They could only run other businesses, including restaurants, gambling stalls, and brothels. Any gang that violated the rules would be dealt with. Let's go, Jianli said as he waved. Jianli didn't count all of them, but he got a lot. He could probably get 100 energy points with just the herbs. After converting them all to energy points, he could build a large number of mechs. By then, Jianli wouldn't be scared even when the Quicksand Gang showed up. Then Jianli would be truly settled in Yangon City. Congratulations for subduing the Red Flame Gang and Axe Gang, and taking over the 3 streets in City East. We'll be able to make at least 1,000 taels of silver every month from now on, Wu Zong said immediately. Brown Noser. The new hall master of Red Flame Hall, Shuahelen, glared at Wu Zong and crossed his arms. He looked extremely arrogant and didn't want anything to do with Wu Zong. How would 1,000 taels of silver be enough for our fierce, handsome, and elegant chief? I think we'll certainly reach a new height under your lead. Our businesses will be greater and we'll earn over 10,000 a month. Ha ha ha, Wu Zong sneered. Shuahelen, you're the real brown-noser here. Chief, here are the detailed records of the businesses managed by Axe Hall. Would you like to read them? The hall master of Axe Hall, Lu He, took out a thick ledger and brought it to Jiangli. Jiangli nodded and started reading. Eagle Claw Hall. In fact, the businesses of these gangs were pretty much the same. Apart from charging some protection fees, they mostly ran restaurants, gambling stalls, brothels, or traded slaves. Since most of the gangs were doing these businesses, there was fierce competition. That was why the gangs had disputes all the time. After a while, Jiangli finished reading the ledger. I don't really know how to manage the businesses of the gangs, so you must do well. Just hand in the money you earn every month, Jiangli said slowly. Also, I don't want any forceful sale on the territories of the serious gang from now on. Whoever violates the rules will be punished. Yes, Chief. Lu He nodded. Chief, don't worry about it. Shuahelen smiled. We'll follow your order. Wu Zong bowed. Chief, what if our members steal some of our profits? Pang Kuei suddenly asked. Right, I'm afraid some people might do that secretly. Suya smiled. Then, just kill them. Jiangli glanced over the three of them and said calmly. Wu Zong trembled and looked a bit pale. He had indeed thought about taking money from the monthly income, but he was terrified by what Jiangli said. After all, his life was more important. What? That's not going to happen, absolutely not, Shuahelen quickly waved and said. Don't worry, Chief. The monthly income of Axe Hall will be given to you without a penny less. Nobody would steal from it, Lu He said seriously. I hope so. Jiangli chuckled. Chief Jiang, you're superior. People might think you're the city lord. Then, boom! The door of the main hall crashed open. The two guards flew into the hall and fell on the floor, spurting out blood. Who's that? Wu Zong and the others got up and stared at the door. Clomp, clomp. There came some footsteps. At the entrance there was a middle-aged man standing in the front. He was wearing a black robe. The shape of his face was long, his eyes were fierce, and he had a mustache. His right hand kept touching the small beard on his chin. It's the Deputy Hall Master of Eagle Claw Hall, Lord He Fenglin, Wu Zong exclaimed. Lord He, what brings you here? Shuahelen asked respectfully. My lord, please take a seat. Lu He nodded and bowed. Pang Kuei's eyes popped out. It's him. It's been so smooth all day, and here comes the trouble. Suya took a deep breath. Ha ha. He Fenglin smiled as he glanced over the wooden boxes on the floor. He looked at Jiangli with greed in his eyes. Chief Jiang, I heard that you killed Lu Yanbing, Lu Dok, and Hua Yingji, and even took over their territories. This isn't quite right. Enlighten me, Lord He, Jiangli said. Ahem. He Fenglin coughed. Well, the serious gang is only a second-rate gang, so it has no right to manage 4 streets. However, since you killed Lu Yanbing and the others, you must be pretty strong. You should just give up Axe Street and Red Flame Street and hand them over to the Quicksand Gang. You can take Scorpion Street. However, of course, with a price. You still need to pay tribute to the Quicksand Gang. There's one thing you must understand. Without the Quicksand Gang, you'll not be able to survive. It's your duty to pay us. These look pretty good. They should be enough. He Fenglin looked at the wooden boxes on the floor and pointed at them. Here, take these wooden boxes back to Eagle Claw Hall. I'll give them to Chief after a few days. Yes. Yes, Master He. People who came with He Fenglin entered the hall, ignoring Jian Li and the others. They walked to the center and started moving the wooden boxes. Well, Wu Zong lowered his head and didn't dare to say a word. He Fenglin is truly greedy. He's taking away all these things just like that. I guess Jian Li must be enraged right now, but there's nothing he can do. He must be frustrated. Zhua Helen thought. The Quicksand Gang is the boss of City East, so nobody dares to disobey them. Besides, He Fenglin is a martial artist of mid-stage level 1. Jian Li must hold back his anger no matter what. Lu He also thought. I wonder what He Fenglin's planning to do with Axe Street and Red Flame Street. I hope he won't be too harsh. Damn it. Pang Kuei clenched his fists and were furious. He really wanted to smash He Fenglin's head with his hammer, but he couldn't do it, as he was much weaker than He Fenglin was. The Serious Gang had already taken over 3 other streets, but He Fenglin suddenly came and took away 2 of them without a reason. He even took the herbs, gold, silver, and pills, claiming that they were tributes for the Quicksand Gang. That was total bullshit. They were just robbing blatantly. Chief. Suye remained silent as she sized up Jian Li. She found that Jian Li's expression wasn't much different. He wasn't furious as she expected, but calm instead. There's no other way. Jian Li is already impressive. Unfortunately, he encountered this unreasonable deputy hall master of Eagle Claw Hall, He Fenglin. Suye said quietly, he should just give them the boxes. At least we'll still have control of Scorpion Street. Do it, Jian Li said. Whoosh. Psst. Arg. The next second, a beam of light flashed. The right arm of the member of the Eagle Claw Hall in the front was cut off before he even touched the closest wooden box. Blood splashed everywhere. The broken arm dropped on the floor and the smell of blood spread over the place. My arm, my arm, my arm has been cut off, this member of Eagle Claw Hall screamed. His face turned pale and he was extremely frightened. He kept backing away while his blood flowed over the floor. In front of the wooden boxes, LBQ-03 stood with blood dripping off his alloy dagger. He looked cold and emotionless. Clearly, the one who attacked just then was LBQ-03. If you take another step, you'll die, Jian Li said. You! How dare you! The members of Eagle Claw Hall were startled. They didn't expect Jian Li to break the arm of one of their men without hesitation. Instantly they were enraged. They were the members of Eagle Claw Hall, the Quicksand Gang, a powerful gang, but Jian Li dared to attack them. He certainly had a death wish. Well, Wu Zong's jaw dropped. He looked at Jian Li and then at the screaming member of Eagle Claw Hall. Chief attacked them. Shit. Zhua Helen was stunned. He's mad. Lu He shouted, Jian Li is really mad. What is he doing? Does he want to die? Does he really think he can resist the Quicksand Gang? He Fenglin can exterminate the entire Serious Gang alone, not to mention the Quicksand Gang. Leader of the Serious Gang. He Fenglin burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, you hurt one of my men. You're really a courageous person. Wonderful, wonderful. It's been a long time since someone did this. I'll show you what Eagle Claw Hall is capable of. Not only you, the entire Serious Gang will be wiped out of City East. Buzz! He Fenglin started performing his arts. His internal force appeared on his body and his vital energy surged out. The fierce power of a martial artist at mid-stage level 1 came. He's strong. This is a martial artist of mid-stage level 1. Gasp! Wu Zong and the others turned pale. Chief. Pang Kuei looked at Jian Li anxiously. Even though it was thrilling to see Jian Li's man cut off the arm of one of the other party's members, He Fenglin was the real danger. What should we do now? Suye said with her pale face. Kill him. Jian Li yelled. Yes, master. Swish. 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 Wang Gang stayed with Jianli, while the 5 remaining meshes rushed at Yifonglin at the same time. A melee. A ridiculous piece of shit. Yifonglin snickered with confidence. He had never taken Jianli seriously, but he had the reason to be confident. Since he was a martial artist of mid-stage level 1, he was much more powerful than those at the early stage. I'll let you understand why you should respect the strong. Boom! Yifonglin attacked with his internal force and formed a strong wind. GD-02 the combat mech had to retreat immediately. GD-02 took a dozen steps back. The powerful internal force destroyed his internal structure and caused quite a bit of damage. He was now 20% damaged. Swish! Swish! Wang Long and Wang Yin quickly threw their alloy daggers at Yifonglin from both sides. Dragon steps. Yifonglin dodged like a loach to avoid Wang Long and Wang Yin's attack. He then turned around and swept the floor with his leg, forcing Wang Long and Wang Yin back. Kill him. At the same time, LBQ-03 and LBQ-04 sped ahead. Their alloy dagger created 2 beams of light in the air. They stabbed Yifonglin in his heart swiftly. You're going to die. Yifonglin yelled as he gathered his internal force to his hands, eagle claws. The posture of his hands was like eagle claws, and they were glittering. When he scratched, the air was diverted and screeches could be heard. Clang! Clang! After 2 clear sounds, the attacks from LBQ-03 and LBQ-04 were blocked and they almost dropped their alloy daggers. The powerful energy even destroyed the internal structure of the 2 meshes, making huge damage. Combat art. GD-02 flashed ahead and gave a dozen punches with both his fists, which created sounds of explosions. Eagle claws. Whoosh! Yifonglin turned around and scratched. GD-02 was knocked away and his clothes were torn. He then crushed a wooden box, scattering tons of gold and silver on the ground. GD-02 was 50% damaged. He was strong. Yifonglin was strong. Even 5 meshes couldn't defeat him. He was still at an advantage and hadn't been injured up till now. Of course, Yifonglin performed his arts several times and had used much of his internal force. At the same time, the meshes were also more damaged. Wang Long, Wang Yin, come back. Wang Gang, attack. The others help Wang Gang. Jianli analyzed the situation and quickly changed his strategy. Yes, master. Swish! Swish! Wang Long and Wang Yin got out of the battlefield and returned to Jianli to protect him, while Wang Gang rushed towards Yifonglin with his burly body like a bear. Ridiculous! Yifonglin sneered. His internal force was surging and there were some energy waves coming out of his body, making his robe fluttered. He then jumped and flashed towards Wang Gang. Eagle claws. Whoosh! Yifonglin sped forward like a hunting eagle. He was carrying a strong viciousness which even tore the air apart. Combat art, Wang Gang yelled expressionlessly. He gave dozens of punches in a short period of time, creating shadows and energy waves in the air. Yifonglin widened his eyes. Boom! Crack! They clashed against each other. Yifonglin felt like he had hit steel instead of a body. At the same time, a strong power broke his internal force and fractured his fingers. Arg! Yifonglin let out a cry. He backed away, his finger bones pierced through his skin and muscles. The white bones were exposed and blood was dripping down his arms. Good. Jianli nodded. Yifonglin looked at Wang Gang in fear. Kill him, Jianli said. Yes, master, Wang Gang replied and sped to Yifonglin. Jianli, how dare you? Yifonglin yelled, I'm the deputy hall master of Eagle Claw Hall of the Quicksand Gang. If you kill me, the Quicksand Gang and Eagle Claw Hall will never let you get away with it. Bang! Psst. Wang Gang followed Jianli's order. With his power and his special alloy gloves, he broke He Fenglin's other arm after a few punches. What are you doing there? Attack! All of you, come inside, and kill him and Jiangli, He Fenglin shouted. Around him the members of Eagle Claw Hall, including those outside, looked at one another and rushed into the main hall. There were about a dozen of them. One of them was a martial artist of early stage level 1. He was the best fighter He Fenglin had. Wu Zong, Shuahelen, Lu He, it's time for you to show me your loyalty. Jianli looked at the three of them. Chief. Wu Zong swallowed hard. I really can't. Chief, we can't offend Eagle Claw Hall, Shuahelen said in fear. Eagle Claw Hall belongs to the Quicksand Gang, and the Quicksand Gang is the boss of City East. All the gangs of the 13 streets must obey them. Lu He said, please think twice, Chief. We've already got something. Think twice? I want to see what they can do to me. Boom! Pang Kuei shouted and sped ahead with his hammer. He dented the chest of a member of the Eagle Claw Hall right away. That man was probably dead. Kids of the Serious Gang, follow me and kill those bastards from Eagle Claw Hall, Pang Kuei shouted. Kill them. Don't hesitate. Around him Pang Kuei's men and the members of the Serious Gang yelled as they ran forward with their machetes. How dare you? Poof! He Fenglin's best fighter was fierce. He killed a few members of the Serious Gang at once, and there were several martial artists of peak stage elementary level behind him. Bang! Pang Kuei's mouth was bleeding and a few of his ribs fractured. Do it, Jiangli said. Yes, master. Wang Yan and Wang Long stayed next to Jiangli to keep him safe, while GD-02, LBQ-03, and LBQ-04 went into the fight. Clang! Clang! The two cold weapon meshes besieged the martial artist of early stage level 1 and backed him into a corner. After a few attacks, the martial artist was injured and there was a wound on his chest. Attack! Wu Zong yelled and joined the fight. Go! The members of Scorpion Hall rushed ahead. The battle began. Arg! He Fenglin screamed. Wang Gang hit his chest and broke his defense, shattering his heart. Ahem, He Fenglin was shaking and spurting out blood continuously. He pointed at Jiangli, trying to say something. Boom! Wang Gang kicked He Fenglin's neck and He Fenglin fell on the ground. Buzz! A light dot flew from He Fenglin's body into Jianli's. Got a level 1 soul tender. How lucky. He got something right away. With 2 level 1 soul tenders, I can now unlock the firearm mech. Jiangli was thrilled.